Hey there. I wanted to put together a quick series on scaling organizations. I really wanted to take everything that I've learned over my career, thinking about how to scale organizations, share them because I think they can help other organizations out there as well. So, a couple of kind of key points we'll go through in the series is number one, understanding that scaling is pretty hard. Most founders might be doing this for the first time. You may have some people who have done it before, but there's a couple of critical things that I think will really help some organizations go further faster if they take these things into account. So, the first pillar is product market fit. Basically, what problem are you solving? You've got to, if you're producing or if you're consulting, if you're doing something, if you're running a company, it's either a product or a service you're going to be offering to customers. You have to make sure that whatever product you are going to make, you're going to offer, whatever service you're going to offer, actually is solving a really big, meaty problem that someone is going to pay something for. If you are going to do something, but no one is going to buy it, that is a huge problem. The next thing we want to think about is that if you start and you've got a product and it's going to fill a need, make sure that you start tracking your money. Make sure you track revenue, make sure you track expenditures, make sure that you review it. I've seen too often that people will start where they're at with they understand where they're at, they understand how much money they have in the bank. They start to hire people. Those people start to buy tools. They start to use softwares. They start to do all of these things. And then before you know it, you're out over your skis. You've got too many people on payroll. You don't have enough revenue coming in the door. So that's another big pillar is to think about that, is think about the financial discipline. The other big thing is your organization as an ecosystem. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you need to have balance between salesmen and people who can deliver and build the product, people who can design things so that people can understand the product, they can understand the value proposition. That is a balance between sales, product and engineering or manufacturing, between designers to be able to help you tell the story, between operations folks to be able to track the revenue, make sure that you're on time, you're on budget, and all of those things. So think about that. If you start out with just an engineering team to make the product, make sure that you also bring on the right salesmen, you bring on the support staff to be able to grow that ecosystem. But again, think of it as an ecosystem. The other big thing is communication. So as you continue to scale, make sure that you continue to change the way that you communicate with a larger organization. Big pitfall is that the people will continue to run a scaling organization with the same communication mechanisms they did when they were, say, a 10-person organization, and now they're a 50 or 100-person organization, and those communication structures, those communication tools break down. So make sure you scale those things as you move forward. You think about communicating within your organization. And again, we'll cover this more in depth throughout the series. Another big thing is what I call the tangibles versus the intangibles. So, what are the tangibles? Tangibles are things like revenue, they're things like materials, they're things like laptops, they're things like office space, stuff like that. But you need to balance the tangibles with the intangibles. What are the intangibles? The intangibles are things like company culture, things like respect and the confidence that you have, the communication and the way that you communicate with your teams. So make sure you think about those things and go throughout this series and watch these videos and make sure that you deliberately think about those things as a leader within your organization. And one other big thing that I think people forget as they continue to scale is that remember your customers are people too. Your customers are working at their profession, they're working in their organization to get to their objective. Their objective is not your objective. So that goes back to product market fit. You need to have a product or a service that fills a need that they have. That's where the value proposition stuff comes in. But don't forget that once you scale up a little bit and say you have some success in whatever market you specifically work in, don't treat your customer like a piggy bank or like a wallet. that you're just there to extract money from them and you're going to deliver them something. So remember that making sure you truly focus in on the problem statement that they have. Make sure you truly solve that problem. Make sure you treat them how you would want to be treated. And again, we'll follow up on these things as we go forward. So I hope that you'll come through the series. I hope that you'll learn a couple of things. I really hope this information will be interesting, and I hope it will help you and your organization and your teams scale. Thanks.